This is In the Gutters with Blake.
Hello, this is Blake, and I'm going to be doing something slightly different than what I normally do. I am an artist. I've had to recreate logos many times for different people. I haven't created a lot of them too, but I'm going to be working on the Black Widow logo just because that was the last thing I was going to review before I got hit by Hurricane Sally, which caused a few issues, but that was the last review that I was going to do, so I'm going to do that one. I mostly bought the comic for the Adam Hughes cover. I thought the first issue was competent, the second issue was not. It was kind of repetitive. It seemed to be just going in circles and nothing was happening, so I wouldn't recommend that book. Anyway, so we're going to open up Illustrator. So like I said, this is Illustrator CS4. Create a new page, and we don't want to bleed, so you want to, at least not yet. So if you have your little chain checked there on this page, you can hit 0 and there will be no bleed. You won't have an annoying red line that shows up, and I have already said this is 15 by 15 and 15 inches. It doesn't really matter at this point as far as the artboard anyway. This is an RGB file, not a CMYK file. A lot of people require you do it in CMYK, but you can always change it in Illustrator later if you want to, and change the colors and all that kind of thing. Any raster effects, which I don't think we're going to be using any. This is 300 ppi, which is the professional standard. Don't let anybody tell you it's 600. That just makes your life a lot harder if you don't have a great computer, because then it'll be taking much longer to render things. And yeah, that's all you need to do. We're gonna hit OK, and then we have your box there, and now I have to import, which I'll say place, file, place, and I've already got a folder with lots of comic book covers and things in it, so I'm gonna find the Black Widow cover. I think it's that one. Okay, and the lovely Adam Hughes rendered cover there. I'm going to zoom out, which I'm going to hit spacebar, and then Command or Control if you're on a PC. And then with my third finger, I'm going to hit the Alt or Option key and zoom out a little bit. And then when you're on the pointer here, you can click spacebar, and it makes a big hand that you can move the window around with. Okay, I'm going to make this a little smaller to fit on my page. You don't have to, but I'm going to do that. You just hold down Shift, grab, after you select it with your pointer, grab the little node there, hold down Shift, Alt, and we'll make it that big. And then I'm going to lock this down in your layers. So the only thing you have to do is hit Command 2, and now you'll see the little lock there in the layer window. And I'm going to zoom in by just hitting Command 0, which makes the artboard fit on the screen. I'm going to go Save As, and we're going to save it to my desktop, and we're going to call it Black Widow logo. I type with 2 fingers. And then hit saving as an Illustrator file. You can save as other things, but really it's unnecessary at this point. So we're going to save, and we're going to save as CS4, and the rest is fine. And again, we're not going to use live trace or anything like that. We're going to just do it the old-fashioned manual way of doing it. And what I'm going to do is first we need some guidelines, so I'm going to go Command R, bring up our rulers, or Control R if you're using a PC. Now all you have to do, if you're on your pointer tool, if you just click up here and drag, you'll pull down a guideline. And before I do that, I'm going to zoom in some more. so I can really see the letters well. And if you don't know this, if you have normally if you have like Helvetica or Arial or some other font, the curved rounded letters like your O's and your S's and those type letters will go above and below your baseline, which we're going to use this guideline to show where our baseline is right here, about right there. And so your flat letters on the tops and bottoms, L here is flat here at the bottom and it's flat on top actually. It's not going to be as far down as your curved letters. This is also a scan where it cut off the top of the logo right here. So what I'm going to do is kind of guess at where the logo will, or the letters will end, which I'm going to say about right there. And you can lock these down too if you like. And I'm also going to put another guideline up here, because this is where I'm going to start my curves on the tops of the letters. And I'm also going to do this for the bottoms. You don't have to do this, you can just kind of wing it if you want, but trying to show that it's, well actually the C is not going to line up anyway, so I don't even think we need it on the bottom, so just get rid of that. Okay, the next tool we're going to use here is your pen tool. It's right here. Okay, you click, and it's basically you're making shapes with clickety, 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 clicking your mouse, and then at the end you will close it up by clicking on the original point, and then you can see that it's a solid shape now. We're just going to delete that. You can also make curved lines with your pen tool, like if you click once and then if you click and hold, you can make curved lines like that. And then if you want to make a straight line from here or another curved line, and you click right there and then you make another line. Or I could have made a straight line, it doesn't matter. Start right here, and then I'm going to start doing letters. So, and if you're doing a straight line, if you hold down shift, it will make a straight line. So if I put my point there, it's straight down. Okay, I'll zoom in just a little more. Okay, straight line, shift, hold it down, go to there. I'm gonna curve the line, even though her arm there is covering up this letter, I know it curves kind of like this and this. Or if you click and hold and then draw out the little arms and then let go and then click directly on that line. I don't think you gotta hold down option, I think you just have to click on it. But anyway, click on the middle little node. And then we're gonna go shift. And yes, I'm gonna do this in real time so you can see the whole thing and how long it takes. And now I'm gonna show you a couple letters, I guess, and then I'll shut up and just start doing it so I can do it quicker. Notice I clicked there, an end, and then made another line. And you don't have to be perfect. I guess that's what everybody always tells you. I mean, if you want to be perfect, you know, give yourself a headache, that's fine. But, okay, notice I clicked the middle again, shift, I'm up here, and then I'm going to make a curve, so start about right there, and drag it out, and then click in the middle, and then hold down shift, and there you go. Now if they're not perfectly straight, you can select just these two nodes by drawing drawing around it with your single selection tool, and then you can go up here to well, I probably should show you, you can pull down your window to align, and it's got your align anchor points here. You want your top ones to be aligned. These are like your vertical lines, I guess, and these are horizontal lines, and this is the first one I want. I want them to both be even there. Okay. And I'm going to make this a color, and then I'm going to hide it, which you click on color in your swatches, or however you want to do it. You can pull up your color thing here and make it a color if you want. But I would just pick a simple color, and then I go Control 3 while it's selected, and it will hide it. Okay, now I'm going to just use, instead of using my pen tool, which you can make this with your pen tool, I just, since this is a rectangle in here, trapezoid, I'm just going to draw over that. And again, I'm not going to be perfect. And I'm going to hit V, and then I'm going to hold down, which is that selection tool, I guess. I'm going to hold down Option or Alt, and then I'm also going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to click and drag. Let's try that again. Okay, click, then hit down, then hold Alt and Shift. Okay. The reverse way. Okay. And you'll see that at the bottom there, the hole is a little bigger. That's what she said. So we'll drag this up just a little bit. Now I'm going to use my selection tool there. Select them both. I'm going to make it a different color. Any color, doesn't matter. And I'm going to hit Control Alt 3. Brings your original piece back up. And I can select all these and go Control or Command 8, and it will use these to put a hole, or put holes in the B. So there you go, that's your first letter. I'll show you real quick one more letter here. And again, I'm just eyeballing this. Click, hold down Shift, Shift, and I'm just going to guess at where this ends. I'm going to say right there. Shift, and then click there, and then we're going to even that up because they're not even. I'm just using up here. You can again pull up a line. Just click that, and now they're even. And later you can actually select them all on a row like this, and you can hit the same line or a line here, wherever, and it will make them, you know, even all the way across. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to shut up, and I'm just going to do these real quick, and you can watch, but remember I hit Shift to make a straight line, and then you drag and click and drag to make the curved lines. You have to hit the center node, remember that. So that's what I'm doing each time. So we're going to start here at the baseline. Because their hand's hiding the bottom of the A, you kind of have to guess where it's going to be unless you get a better scan. Now I'm going to curve this. Now I'm actually going to drag a guideline down here to make it on that node, so I'll know where to put the node over here. So select my line again, click on that. Click on the last node, you have to do that, and then I'm going to click over here and then curve it a little bit, and then I'll click and click. So you seal that up. Okay, now I'm going to hide this again, which is Command 3. We're going to draw one of these. Now there's lots of ways you can do this. I mean, I can make two little triangles or whatever, but I'm just going to click with the pen tool. Oops, don't hold down Shift there. I'm going to turn the color off so I can see. Okay, and you can see I'm not perfect there. I'm not trying to be, but you can click and hold down Shift and click nodes, and then you can hold down and move them over. Hold down Shift and you can move it over a little bit, and now it's more on the line that where it should be. Again, if you really want to be precise, you can zoom in like this, and you can use your single selection tool to click on a node, and then you can use your arrows. Sometimes they move too far or not far enough. But you can kind of correct them as you go. Move that just a little bit, and then make that a color. Doesn't matter what color. And pull up, go Command Option or Alt 3, Whoops. Did I not? Yeah, there we go. And then you can select that and then Command or Control 8 and it will cut a hole in it. So you have that letter. I'm just going to continue. See if I can do it a little faster. And I know a lot of people think doing it this way sucks, but I actually like doing it this way, and I have more control over it if you like. So it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, if you like doing art, it probably won't bother you. This is just my way. Go on to the next one. The letters that curves are the easiest ones, obviously. So you don't have to worry about it looking right. Oops. Wrong spot. Don't use shift. Don't use shift there, but then use shift here. I'm going to turn off the color again. Hold shift. Hold shift. Hold shift. And then we're going to make a color. Okay, so we got the top done. Okay, I'm going to again draw a line around all the top letters here. And then I'm going to align them. Okay. And then if you want to make them the right color, which this is black, we can make them black. And we're going to come down here, and I don't think we have black widow. Okay, no, none of the same letters. We do have the W as the same as the last letter. And this one will be a little tricky because, and we'll just go ahead and do, since that one's covered up with a little black, we'll just do this one. Let's bring down your guidelines, and we'll lock these down too, even though we don't really have to, I don't think. But anyway, we'll work backwards this time. We'll just go click here, shift, shift and click, shift and click, get rid of the color, shift and click, shift and click. It's probably like watching paint dry. So I imagine for somebody else watching this.
Tap or take a nap.
And then down. And you have another letter. I'm going to make this in red. And then you can just take this one and you can use your, click V to get on your selection tool. Whoops. Selection tool there. And then while it's selected, this letter, if it wasn't selected, you would select it, and then click it and hold down Alt and Shift, and it will copy, make another W, and then you just move it into place. And by holding Shift, it will keep it on the same line, same baseline. Okay, and to do the I is very easy. You can just make a rectangle, and that's your next letter. And then to do the D and the O, turn off the color. I think the bottom may be cut off here too, but we're not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about making that. I don't know if it's cut off or not, but we'll just imagine it's not. So the D is going to look a little bit different from the O there, obviously. So whoops, don't want to hold down Shift. And again, I hope this is helping someone. Okay, make it a color, hit Command 3, we'll make it go away. This is just basically a rectangle, so you want to make another rectangle there in the middle. Make it a different color so you can see it. You don't have to make it so you can see it. Yeah, let's just do that. It's the same color. Bring up Command Option 3, Command Alt 3. I'm using my selection tool now. My single selection could, or it could be your regular selection tool. You can see it's highlighted. It's same color, doesn't matter. If you go Command A, it blasts it out of the middle. And you can go to your next letter, which this is a weird looking O. It should have a curved bottom. We're going to give it a curved bottom. So I'm going to start right about here. And we're going to go here. About right there. Not quite. Put it right there. And we're going to start a line right here on this one. Go down to here, and we're going to curve that just a little bit, just because I like it better that way. Again, it's up to you how exact you want to make things. So make another curved line, click the middle, hold down Shift, make another curved line, click the middle. And then we got about the right curve, about, and then Command 3, and I want this to be the same height and everything as this one, so I'm just going to use that one to draw from, because her toes there are covering up the O's hole. That could be, that's what she said too. I don't know what that means. Anyway, okay, make different colors so you can see it. Control Option 3, Command Option 3. That's a weird looking O too, but which I'll show you how to correct if you want. So we're going to click that with your selection tool or single selection tool, whichever. Control 8. And since I don't like this curve, I'm just going to select these two nodes. Whoops, went too far. Select those two nodes. You can actually single select them too, which I'm going to do right here. Select that, and then just use your arrows on your keyboard to move it up. Now if I want to straighten this one up, you can click on the node itself. It'll give you the little arm of the curve, and then you can grab the end of that node and kind of correct it how you want to correct it. Same thing over here. This one doesn't look as bad, I don't think. I don't know. They probably both look bad, I don't know. Well, actually, this is the arm down here, because you only have one making that curve, I guess, so yeah, that may be why it looks better. Anyway, we'll leave it like that, and then make these red or black. Make the whole thing black. Whoops. Now let's go ahead and delete all these guides. That's why it kept showing up, or kept being highlighted, because I didn't lock them down. I'll delete those. Yeah, you just do this by, you don't have to unlock them, but if you just highlight them, hold down Shift, grab the other one, you can either just click this or drag them. Either way, now they're gone. Okay, so I'm going to make all these the same black. Then I'm going to drag this whoops. There's a guideline still there. Let's delete that one. Okay. I'm going to drag this down closer so it looks like a logo. And then we're going to get rid of the image. Well, before I do that, let's oops. Sorry. So there you go. Is that close to the logo? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to delete this. Goodbye, Natasha. And then drag this one back over. I don't like that O, but I don't care. Okay, so you have your logo, and you can kind of group them all together by just selecting them all. Keep moving the page there. And hit Control G, which you can also up here, I think under Object, you can hit Group. Now they're all grouped, so if you click one, well, did I not just group that? I don't know what I did there.
I don't understand.
Control G. Yeah, okay. I forgot, if you use your singular selection tool, it's only going to select one. But if you select them now with your regular selection tool, it will select everything. Okay. Okay, this is a very easy thing how to make cut lines for, you know, a bleed on something like this. If you were going to make this cut letters, if you're going to make this individual cut letters, you could do that by using just this as your cuts, basically. But we want to make it like if we're going to do this as like a decal that's going to have white in between the letters, so that the whole thing is one big decal and not individual letters. So what I want to do for that is to make another layer, and we'll call this our cuts layer, and you're going to turn off where it says print, and then you're going to hit OK. And now if you were printing this on white, then you would have to make a bleed for this. So what you would do, you select your logo, and then you just want to go Command Copy first, Command C, and then you want to Command F, which will paste in place what you just copied. And you can see over here it just went from 1 to 2. And we're going to take this one and we're going to drag it up on the cuts layer. And we're going to make that one, let's say red, doesn't matter what color it is. And we're also going to go under, it says have a properties on it. This is an older version, used to a newer version. Oh, let's go to transparency. And you can change that to, let's say, whatever, 54% or 34% or whatever. So that's your cut lines right there. And you don't have a stroke on this, because if you had a stroke, you might, if somebody was cutting this on, say, a plotter, then it would try to cut it twice if you had a stroke on there. So you don't want to do that. You just want to have it like this with just the shape. I can turn this off and show you. It's just shapes. Then you have your original black there. Okay. If you didn't know, if you turn the eyeballs off, you can turn it on and off stuff in layers. Click that, that's the entire layer. If you click one thing, like if I wanted to make that W disappear, I can click that. But anyway, so you have this. If you want to bleed, all you have to do is select, since they're all grouped, you can click here in the group. They're all selected, and all you have to do is put, whoops, let's go back to color. You can drag this to your outline. That's your shape, that's your outline. Now you have a stroke. I think that's stroke right there. You can go up to window and pull down stroke, and it'll pull up the window for you. And then you can just make it mighty thick. And then if you printed the black by itself, then you can cut the letters out with your cut lines here, and it will cut, you know, it won't have any white edge to it or anything if the plotter is not cutting where it's supposed to be. But yeah, that's all there is to it. And if you wanted a white outline, you could make this up here. This is a little trick. You can, let's make this back to 100%. Okay, now we're going to put a stroke on this one, which you go back to stroke or my color. Put your color there, put it on the outline, and then make it thick like the other one. Okay, and it's going to cut everything you see here, which is highlighted with little lines in there. So you don't want that. You want, and let's say we also don't want these holes to be cut out in this middle of the, well, let's leave the C, but you don't want these to be cut out. Be little tiny little cuts there. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go up under Object and Path. You're going to go to Outline Stroke, and then you're going to find what's called the Pathfinder, and this will weld. If you have everything right now selected on that cuts layer, you just want to go hit that first one there, and it's going to weld everything together. And you have to be careful because sometimes if you do this, it leaves little lines inside that you have to delete. But anyway, we also, let's delete this right there. Just click on a node and then double click and it'll get rid of the whole thing. Same thing with this. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. So that would be your cut line. That's the shape of what it would look like. And if I turn this to an outline instead of a shape, oops. Let's try that again. Let's highlight that. And then let's change that to a stroke outline, and then click back on your shape and get rid of that. And now we have a red line there, and now we're going to take the black lines that we had, and I'm going to get rid of that stroke. I'm clicking right here. And the red line now is what you would see. You would have white, or if you printed on some weird color like gray or blue or whatever, you'd have a print of black on that color, but this would be what would be cut out, that red outline. And that's all you got to do. And you can put registration marks and all that if you need to. I usually make a new layer and say registration. And depending on what system they use, they may have their own way of making their reg marks, so you may have to let them do that. But if you're preparing artwork for anybody, you should always ask first how they want it, how they need it, and don't give them anything that they don't ask for. There's a lot of people think them putting a bleed on it, because some people have a certain way of doing it. This is one way of doing it. But if they don't want to bleed on it, you're going to make their life harder by putting a bleed on it. So don't do that, or by adding registration marks or grayscales or all that stuff that's can be unnecessary, and they think they're helping and they're not. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's the whole logo there with the cut lines. And again, cut line should be shape, not an outline. And again, you should have, if you double click this, you can see cuts. Make sure that's turned off, and this one should be turned on. So that's it. Hope I helped someone. Oh, one last thing. Save often. Save every few minutes. I do it usually without thinking about it, but I have not saved, so you want to always go Command S or Control S and save along the way, because you'd hate to really do like if you had 50 letters to do, and then or 26 letters, and then you get to the end of it, and then if your program crashes or lightning strikes or something, that would suck. So you always want to save it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Tap or take a nap.